My wake-up call came on a gurney in an emergency room in UC San Francisco. My blood pressure, 180 over 140. It was a medical crisis. They thought I had a stroke. The doctor ran over, said, "What happened? How are you feeling?" I had a crushing headache. I couldn't describe. I was in a mental fog. He said, "Okay, fine. Can you move this?" I did. "Can you wiggle this?" I did. He said, "Watch my finger." I passed his little test with flying colors, like any type A would. He wanted to make sure there was nothing else wrong. He sent me off to imaging. A CAT scan, an MRI later, they found something. It was a kink in the brain, a bubble of an artery. It was the beginning of an aneurysm. I was lucky it hadn't burst. That's my life-changing moment. The lifestyle I had been living as a type A was not serving me well, and my body said no. As I lay on that gurney, I stared up at the ceiling and said to myself, if this is how my life ends, and I never got to the fun part, this blows. From every 6 months from that point on, every 6 months I'm reminded of what that lifestyle cost me. I have to have the MRI every 6 months to make sure that that bubble in my head, that ticking time bomb, hasn't burst. That's the life-changing event. This event was my permission slip to change my life. I was 52 years old. I seized that moment. I got a life and I never looked back. I'm wondering if my type of type A is anything like yours. I'm going to describe a typical weekend, or at least that weekend. See if you recognize yourself. I was living a great life. I was in San Francisco. I had a high-rise apartment, 6th floor, city skyline out one picturesque window, the bay and the Bay Bridge in front of the other, 2 blocks away, AT&T Park. I was loving life. My little sports car in the garage downstairs. It was fantastic. Everything I had dreamed of, something in the city. That Saturday, I was in my home office, working away on some brilliant marketing plan for my biotech career. Something snapped in my head. I felt this crushing headache. And while other people were outside roaring for the San Francisco Giants, they'd probably hit a home run, it was during World Series, I was inside my home office on this beautiful San Francisco day experiencing a medical crisis. Because I was working. I was not enjoying life. My husband heard me. I must have done something like pounded the table or swore at the computer, which I would do frequently under pressure. And he came in and said, "Everything okay?" Because he's such a champ. He'd always try to break the stress cycle. I'm like, "No, I am so tired. I could barely talk. I just need to lay down and I have a crushing headache." Now, if you're like me, headaches were frequent. I lived with headaches. I was the queen of checking my watch every 2 hours to see when I could take that next dose of extra strength, whatever, in order to keep myself going. Sleep was not foreign to me either, but it was after a 6-day work week. The 7th day is when I slept to catch up. That's not a life, and that's not recovery. So on this day, this weekend, it was different. That headache, nothing touched it. It was sudden. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stay awake. I crawled to that office couch. My husband checked on me a little bit later, and he checked again. And a few hours later, I don't know how much time passed, it was dark. I woke up. Nothing had changed, and I couldn't speak. We rushed to the hospital. The closest hospital, which happened to be the Benioff Children's Hospital. They were wondering as an adult, "What are you doing here? Why are you here? You were the closest thing. We were so scared about what was going on with me." They checked me in. They put me in the cutest little room. It was playful. There were cartoons, there were pictures and letters, and I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't had this since childhood. Corporate's nothing like this. Everyone I'm around is so serious. It was like a spa. The kindest nurse took my vitals and talked to me like this was the greatest adventure ever. My blood pressure was 180 over 140. While they were entertaining me, they were calling an ambulance. And as soon as they got me on that gurney and that cadre of nurses was waving me goodbye, like I was some celebrity, I burst into tears. I was crying. A nurse grabbed my arm and she said, "Oh, sweetie, are you scared?" And I said, no, I just haven't felt this cared for ever. I think that broke her heart a little bit. And frankly, when I think about it, it breaks my heart too. I'd fallen off my own to-do list. I had abandoned myself. Never again. Never again. Do you recognize yourself in any of that? If you're a type A, I'm pretty sure you do. I want to invite you right now. This is a tap on the shoulder, a whisper in the ear. You matter too. There were 3 things that I learned from that experience. Number 1, the life I'd built, the dream life, was killing me. Number 2, I mattered. And if I wanted to stay alive, I needed to act like it. And number 3, I needed to get a life. I realized I wasn't having any fun. I invite you to make a change before a change takes care of you. This is your moment. Flip the script. Get off that hamster wheel. Break out of that cage. That's the pile of responsibilities that you've taken on or someone else has piled on you. Because you know, if you aren't running your life by your own plan, you're a part of someone else's. Take control of your life. You matter. My wish for you, before this gets to a crisis point, is that you learn from my mistakes. I've created a 5-step process. I've created a 5-step process that's life transforming. To take a type A to a Zen. It changed my life, and I'm hoping that this is a shortcut for you to get you to health and well-being that you so deserve, and that will help you get through the marathon. The first step in the ADORE method is awaken. Awaken to the fact that you are potentially at risk of burnout or on a collision course for something worse. This is a diagnostic section where research shows that there's certain characteristics of life that actually contribute to our well-being. We check out whether you're in balance or not, and you can identify where you want to change or make a difference. That diagnostic leads you to letter D, deconstruct. Look at your life. We look at your purpose. What is meaningful to you? What would a meaningful life look like? From there, anything that you're currently doing that doesn't contribute to your purpose or is meaningful or is crowding out and creating noise or exhaustion or draining your energy, we stop. Stop that which no longer serves you. Clear space in your schedule, because in the next phase, we're going to look at starting things that actually fuel you and give you energy and joy. And then in this space, keep doing those things that you identify that actually do make you feel good. As a type A, a lot of times, someone will ask you, well, what are your hobbies? Is there a hobby after work? I don't have time. I don't know what they are. And sometimes people get all the way to retirement and they don't know what to do. Now's the time to actually think about that before something happens. After the deconstruct phase, we have originate. Originate is your self-discovery phase. This is you finding the authentic you. This is you in play. You get to find out what gives you joy, what makes you laugh, how you connect with people. This gives you those practices that are mindful and restful. the travel that expands your experiences. This is that time to discover you. It is the most delicious time that you can enjoy, and I can promise you it's something you've never experienced. Now that you've figured out what really fuels you and creates joy, the next step is reconstruct. Rebuild your life. Build in those things that actually fuel you and give you sustained energy to keep you going through the marathon of life in a way that you enjoy. The last is embrace. Any of us can make a fantastic plan. The hard part sometimes is sticking to it. But if it's things that you enjoy, and there are practices and skills that you can develop to actually continue to embrace and stay on this path that is self-fulfilling, there are steps there to help you. A little life hack called a Zen diagram that's a reminder when you're judging what to do and what to incorporate in life and what falls away. The Zen diagram is your personal compass to help you understand how to keep proceeding. The Adore method from A to Z. So my friends, I do encourage you to understand that life is a journey to be adored. Life should be lived, not survived. If not now, when? And take it from me, your life might depend on it.